The Day One Janus Agenda adventure had a neat idea for introducing psionics, the Janus Agency, and the idea of treatments being tested already for a potential zombie apocalypse. Before the scientists knew anything like this possibility war could exist. What's more, gleaning the origin of the Janus Agency and their actual agenda would be a cool thing to figure out, and perhaps when I run the second part, it will become apparent. Now, I've already put in the second Janus Agenda intro screen because, for the most part, my BioBreak intermission slideshow seems to have been disrupted. So, let me carry on. Okay, part 2 of tonight's recap presentation sees us remembering our playthrough of the adventure named The Janus Agenda, Day 1, by Simon English. We played this between April 4th, my eldest son's birthday, and April 25th of 2020. Though again, our play weekends, as it will be with all play groups, was erratic at best. I think we played through 3 game sessions for this. Now, let's work to unravel the Janus Agenda. Just a quick note before beginning the evening. Only one of the pre-generated characters, Mackenzie Donovan, was used this evening. Everyone else had their campaign characters, so I thought I would throw in an NPC or two, including Dr. Sylvia Resniak, the true MacGuffin of this adventure, to help guide them. Go to the slideshow. When we began directly in Scene 1, Kidnap on Campus, our Storm Knights had been on campus of the West Falls Harbor Laboratory in Long Island, New York, for about 4 days. The laboratory was in a couple of the empty buildings the university was seeking to recoup some revenue from. Unfortunately, with the bridges dropping the world round, the Living Land advancing to take over even this location soon, everyone was preparing to evacuate. Oh, I lost my place. Many of the students had already taken transport away from the facility, whether up the lake or on the train nearby or being picked up by parents or what have you, but the West Falls Harbor Lab was still running a critical experiment that could not be moved and was nearing completion within hours. Thus, near midnight, when power is at its lowest on the campus and, being all but abandoned, turned lower still for conservation purposes, our Storm Knights stumbled on a problem. First was a scream out of the darkness, and a well-spoken English-Indian accented female voice demanding to be let go, followed by what sounded like a slap across the face and a much quieter tone from the lady. Okay, let me switch over to Torg recording. Okay, so this is the scene that you guys were all in. Everybody see that?
Yeah.
Okay, now I've got your characters on the left and on the right, but the characters on the right are there to help you have vision. I think I could have just turned on the global illumination, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. So you should still see probably the darkness, but I'm recording what I saw as the GM. So everybody kind of rushed in. Do you guys need to get closer, or do I need to just turn up global illumination?
I'm good.
Fine.
No, I can see where we were. I remember it felt like we were just interrupting a mugging of some kind.
That is pretty much what it was. However, let's see. Slideshow. You saw a guy in a suit, actually 3 guys in suits with fedoras, and you saw a doctor who looked, like I said, an American Indian doctor, and she was the one that was being harassed at the time, and you all went to break that up. Now, what do you remember about that?
Didn't they start shooting at us?
No.
Instead of running away like muggers?
Nope, they didn't start shooting at you.
Use pyrokinesis and other psychic abilities.
I believe one had pyrokinesis, one had telekinesis. No, wait a minute. 2 of them had telekinesis. One of them had pyrokinesis and telekinetic barrier. Which all, amazingly enough, happened to turn into Connor's character's psychic abilities. That's odd.
because he got walloped with something psychic and it woke him up.
Yeah, basically.
And you can also help explain it further is that, like around this time had also increased my spirit, level.
Hmm.
So kind of just makes sense. I was more susceptible to all things spiritual.
Yep,
at
that's
the
true.
time.
That's true. Now, the fight. I can't remember exactly what happened in the fight. I know Sakal got one of the bad guys. And then I think it was a combination of Mackenzie and... No. Mackenzie came up after the fight. It was Detective Pepper and Chris, I thought, that got another one of the guys because they were trying to escape up the steps.
Yeah.
And then Mo, you got the last one.
Yeah, Chris got knocked out. Didn't Chris get knocked out in this fight?
He got knocked out, but he was able to wake back up after that. And
I remember I wound up on the last one because they had knocked out Chris.
Right.
And that ticked me off. He's my pet. Nobody pets him.
Enough with the pet thing.
And
not that kinky.
And then what was Peaches trying to do?
Rez had gotten knocked down. I had picked her back up, and I was covering her because they kept trying to snatch her.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
And in fact, Peaches missed most of the psychic action.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like every time I bent down to pick something up off the pavement, something psychic would go off, and I would pop back up, and nothing would be happening. I pretty much missed the whole thing with bad rolls, and I was completely ineffective this time around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she wound up noping out for most of this fight.
Yeah, I was speed bump and space filler and possibly comedy relief.
And this time the ants didn't have anything to do with it.
But there could have been one under that car, and she was very worried about it. Yeah.
I don't think I even smited anybody with my axe. So,
No, you didn't. You went over to the unconscious doctor.
I did first aid, and that's really like I said.
That's right. Okay, I remember that now.
By the time she got done, by the time she got done, we had finished off the rest of them.
Yeah.
because despite being possibility rated, we absolutely pwned them in this particular encounter.
Yeah. Well,
I think they all got away. Well, no, you got them, but I missed the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, so let's see. It was Mackenzie, a girl named Mackenzie Donovan, who rushed up after the fight was done, and somebody pulled a weapon on her, but then saw that she was more or less a student, I think. What do you remember? Was there anything in the conversation there? I can't remember, honestly.
I think they were just asking for us to help.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I can't remember why we were even in the parking garage at the time, unless that was just part of our stay over for the evac.
Well, yeah, you were there, as I was kind of explaining, you were there as part of your evacuation. The Ronald Reagan, the USS Ronald Reagan, had been full of people, and they were trying to shuffle people off of the Ronald Reagan to other safe spots, but you guys didn't have that opportunity, so you wound up on Long Island instead.
Yeah. So we were there as part of a layover, and just stumbled into this. There was no plan that got us into this. We just stumbled into this.
I think it was that you had just finished eating.
Yeah,
and we're walking around.
We were staying here at the hotel or the college or whatever the case was, and we just happened to be walking through when this occurred, and it drew us in.
Of course. Don't you know that's how all great adventures start? You just get dragged in.
That's a fantastic way to start an adventure. I love it. Yeah, I was just trying to remember because it wasn't one that was. It wasn't one that we went there to do the thing.
Yeah.
we just wound up there and the thing was happening and it's like, oh crap, that poor
You
woman.
just happened to do the thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they're like, oh, that poor woman's being mugged, and I was like, is that bad?
You and
Yeah.
Sakal
Very.
both.
Yeah, me and Sakal were like, is that bad? And they're
Yeah.
like, yes, it's bad. And it's like, oh well,
It's the frontier gods.
Well, the really cool thing about that area was that you and Sakal could be your Edinos selves and
Mhm.
not really get tagged for it, because although there were a lot of people there, they didn't really. There was a whole lot of space to be in, and you guys were able to more or less keep out of line of sight,
Yeah,
because you knew you would have scared the crap out of a bunch of people.
yeah, we didn't send people screaming into the darkness. That was a
Oh, the assistant identified the doc for us as I'm picking her up off the pavement, taking her pulse and stuff.
Right.
And they asked us to help them move the equipment. They were being evacuated.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had to
Exactly.
we were to help them move stuff from the lab.
Oh, I forgot
Yeah.
about that. Okay. I knew what the course of the adventure was. I just couldn't remember the exact turn of events.
yeah.
So
Me and Sakal lacked any understanding of what it was they wanted us to do. We were just like, all right, y'all say we got to go this way, we'll go this way.
yeah, exactly. All right. Once you all moved up from the lower parking area to the upper, you sort of got to realize in how much trouble you might be. Everyone then rushed inside. Do you remember what that was all about?
Yeah, there was the science building already under attack, and we had to rush in and basically
Ooh.
counter the attack, or were we already inside and they attacked us?
We were like right at the entrance when they decided to attack.
I
Okay.
have to go back just a little bit.
Uh-huh.
What did Chris find on one of the
Oh, Janus coin or whatever it was called.
a Janus coin? Yeah.
He still got that.
Yep, he
Oh,
still
yeah.
got that, and I got all of that on Foundry. Oh, I can't wait for you guys to see it. But okay, after you found that, you kind of, I believe you realized, you rolled high enough to realize it had circuitry in it and stuff like that as well. And then the back of the coin, the front of the coin had Janus, a picture of Janus, who was a two-headed or two-faced god, as it were, from Greek times.
The Roman god of portals, actually.
Ooh,
and doorways.
That's
and
right.
Beginnings and endings.
Yes. Yes, that's right. You've got that written down, don't you?
No, I happen to know that. Janus is also like pictured sometimes as conjoined twins, and I'm a twin, so I pick up on twin mythology.
There you go. That's pretty cool. Okay, so that was Mackenzie. All right, so I've got a picture up here where you were able to see. Oh, for heaven's sake! I shut off all sound on that thing, and it still went off. Ugh.
Oh no!
Dismiss, you bugger. Okay. Oh, I hate it when that happens. I'm going to get a phone that turns off the sound when it turns off the sound. Okay.
Yeah, actually, that phones that do that.
Yes.
I think my phone just shut up.
Well, I turned off all the sound earlier, but I forgot to dismiss the 9:30 bell for me to take my nighttime vitamins. So, isn't that just wonderful? So, okay, so I've got a picture up here where you guys were getting to the parking lot, and if I remember correctly, you were just getting to the circular door. Let me see if I can find. Oh, hold on. Let me get rid of that and copy these guys over. And okay, well, that's not exactly what I wanted to do. That's not exactly what I wanted to see. So I'm going to kind of park you guys out here, paste. Okay, and then I got to move the flag over. All right, so you got up to the rotating door that was there just as a voice called out. Do you remember how that conversation went?
Give up
A
if you
regular
want
door
to live.
Okay, wait a minute.
No,
Connor?
Pretty much it was something to the lines of give up if you want to live, or just kill them all outright.
Something like that. And then I think you all went to push inside very quickly after that.
Yeah,
I know my
I-
hallways. I know my hallways were not real wide on this. They should have been bigger, but I did the best I could with the time I had. So let's
I
see.
remember we had to stop Mo from playing with the roundabout door.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember that too. I don't
good
even
time.
remember if Sakal was all that excited about it or not, but that was sure funny.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you
Yeah,
worked
and
your
the-
way
and
in. Go ahead.
They were just too
They were.
big to go in there with them and be their partner to push and anything like that.
Oh, that's
they had
right.
to figure it out, and that
it was a chore.
yeah. And we're like, watch us do like we do, and he'd end up going around and around a couple of times.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And it's
I
like, we're in a
remember that.
hurry.
That was so much fun. I should.
When
Go ahead.
when the bad guys outside are saying surrender Dorothy, it's a bad thing.
All right. Once you were able to get a more or less calm place inside, and Doc Resniak told you what needed to happen to be able to evacuate, which ones of you stayed with Doc to extract her samples from the lab, and which went to the computer area to grab her files? And what sort of hilarity ensued from there with the samples and data extraction?
Okay.
So Paul, Detective Pepper, and I went with Doc Resniak.
Okay. Mo and Chris then.
Crisscross and Mo went downstairs
With Donovan.
With Donovan,
Mm-hmm.
because Chris could help with the computer.
Right.
Yes.
And I was there for muscle,
And remember,
which was needed.
Yeah, it was needed.
Help in quotes for the computer, because I remember that did not go well.
Yeah.
Apparently, Chris forgot how to use a computer during all this.
No, I wasn't the one who messed up.
No, it was Donovan. Actually.
Somebody just completely shut the system down practically.
Yeah.
Not shut it down, blew it up.
Yeah, tried the whole thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't do that. I had nothing to do with that. I remember that we got followed downstairs by a couple of the bad guys.
Yes, you sure did.
I remember they took Chris hostage twice.
Okay, that's
both
not gonna
times
work.
didn't work out.
Yeah. No, it did not. I'm gonna have to kind of close in Sakal here. Oh, that's Peaches can't go too far. And Mo, and I'm trying to get you guys into. Boy, it kept my settings and everything. Wow, why didn't it do that before? Okay.
Because you wanted it before.
Exactly. Exactly right. And I can't set you guys off of the map, but I can at least bring you over so that others can see what's going on. So yeah, we had Crisscross, Mackenzie, and eventually Sakal came down. Everybody came down, but yeah.
Eventually,
Okay.
the elevator doors opened and everybody popped out.
Yeah, eventually. So, okay, so wait a minute. Why didn't I go over there? There we go. Okay, so with the samples, what happened? This would probably fall to Peaches.
Oh, I remember now.
If you remember, spit it out, man.
I remember being in thrown like some kind of hood and apron and glove and all this protective equipment on, and asked to pick up something from some glass fragile thing from a glass fragile cradle.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember not doing so well.
Mm.
We needed some dexterity, and I do believe the sample container cracked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do believe that you couldn't have done a worse job of safely securing that if you'd gone in there with a hammer
Or my
Probably
axe.
not.
or your axe and just
Yeah.
started swinging wildly. But whatever the case was, I think you wound up rolling like a 1, and then like you didn't disconnect, but you suffered the
Mishap.
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 Yeah.
I wanted to call it a fumble, and I was like, it's not a fumble.
That's right, because
And
you were in Core Earth at the time, a place that Mo would have hated being. Mo and Sakal both, I think. Actually, Sakal wanted the new experiences. That's what it was.
Sakal enjoyed it. I hated the place. The place feels creepy.
Yeah.
And but I remember she got the mishap, and I think you tried to find a way to get her to. I think there was like a extra safety. If you do this, it
Mm-hmm.
won't be a disaster. And she rolled another mishap,
Yeah.
and it's like then the alarms start going off. Wah, wah, wah.
Yep.
Ceiling doors activating. Napalm purge or whatever it was.
Yeah, something really like, oh my god.
I just remember Chris downstairs going, this is bad. And I'm going, what's bad? And
Explain bad.
Meanwhile, downstairs.
Mm-hmm. Well, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
If I say meanwhile downstairs, simultaneously downstairs, I couldn't imagine a more thorough job of sabotage if they had intended it. The doctor's assistant goes down there and like rolls a mishap on the computer.
On the first round.
On the first round,
and it blows up.
And I think she wound up with 2 mishaps in a row too. Eventually,
Yep.
just completely causing the computer to fry itself.
That night was just not a great night.
It was fine for me because while they were in there blowing up the computer, the bad guys come downstairs. There was 3 of them.
Mm-hmm. No, I think there were more than that. I've got Merc 4.
Oh yeah, there's
5,
like 6 of them.
6. Yeah, no, there was only 3 of them for you guys before before Doc Rez and everybody else came down in the elevator.
Yeah, and I remember there was a big fight. One of them jumps at the doorway and goes and yells at Chris to hands up, and Chris is like, ah, because they got the drop on you, and my character just runs around the entire circle with his arms out and sweeps up everybody, all the bad guys into a giant flying tackle, and I managed to pull them all away from the door. So you go back to trying to stop the computer from derezzing.
Yeah.
And then apparently you hit Control Alt Delete to reprint or reformat.
Yeah, Chris was up here.
Mm-hmm.
This was where Mackenzie was sitting. And then around here is where Mo wound up tackling the mercs. Except for the one. There was only 2 mercs here. Or else I would have marked them with X's if there were more.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least you think you would.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think.
Yeah. So, it turned into a big fight, and I actually was doing well in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris, I think, was maybe shooting from the door or...
yeah, I think Chris actually came over to this side of the door, okay, and shot number 5 because number 5 was trying to get a drop on Mo.
Yeah, he was back trying to get either at me or at whoever was in the server room.
Yeah.
Him and Chris were duking it out from around a door frame.
Yeah, exactly. So this picture must have been taken before these 2 guys were incapacitated. But I remember them being incapacitated.
Yeah, so I was going to town on multiple opponents as much as possible,
And
and
doing well.
and I was doing well. I mean, I was doing really well, and then I finally get them all down, and then everybody else shows up in the basement, and then like all the bad guys come like rushing down rushing down the stairs, and we had to book it out of a secret entrance.
That's right. They all went down the stairs.
At least a underground, like
Yeah.
access tunnel.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to take the tunnels to the building next door and escape from there.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep, that was it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
After seeing the computer records and the samples safely destroyed, and
yep.
we
That was your story, and you were sticking with it.
Yeah. So those guys came down the stairs about here, I think it was, and you guys escaped down here.
Yeah.
And then through the long tunnels, but I don't remember what it was. I think there was a security door. There was a security door in the hallway that Doc Rez locked. And it was going to take them some time to figure out what was going on.
Yeah,
that is correct.
Yeah, we just barely managed to like get out, because there was a lot of those mercs.
Oh yeah, a lot of them, somewhere around 40.
Yeah, and we were like, well, we're not fighting this.
And they had no problem with those roundabout doors.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Janus and their small army make it inside, and from the parking lot encounter, you realized you were dealing with psychics, something that would undoubtedly affect Criss Cross down the road, and they began searching the building. Well, you already knew that, so I'm going to go on. Okay, so once you escaped, you decided to go through the woods toward the dock's boat slip to get on her cabin cruiser and escape. Were you actually able to escape, and who basically had to intervene due to horribly destroyed skill checks?
Oh, I played the Delphi Council's resupply card.
Yes, you did. Oh, that was perfect. That was perfect. So you guys did escape, but who saved you?
Well, eventually we had some like tomahawks. Not tomahawks. We had some Blackhawks, like fly over and just shoot the boats that were pursuing us out of the water. Because I believe the only person that had any sort of like pilot watercraft skill was Peaches.
Yeah.
And hers.
Oh no! Somebody else had some too, didn't they?
Well, it wasn't me.
The doctor did. It was her boat.
Yeah, Doc Rez did. That's right. But yeah, suffice it to say, you got things underway and started running away from them.
Yeah, fleeing was our big plan. So
yeah, I made the water vehicle check just fine.
Yeah, there were a couple of them. So, but you did well. You did well on those.
We didn't do horrible, but we didn't do as well as they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, the NPCs saved the day.
Yeah.
By rolling really well.
Yeah.
And then we went, but I remember we wound up on the Roosevelt.
Was it? Yeah, was it the Roosevelt? I think it was.
The aircraft carrier, whichever. I think.
Military vessel.
Yeah, it was an aircraft carrier. So, okay, making it out to open sea in the Navy, heavily encouraging the Janus mercenaries to drop back, you were able to escape. Oh, it was the USS Ronald Reagan. That seems to be the big...
Reagan.
Yeah, it seems to be the big flat top being used for the game now. Though you got to meet a couple of folks before we ended the adventure early on the 25th of April. The adventure was all but over. Do any of you remember anything that I forgot? Did you have fun? And what were your impressions?
Had a blast, really did.
Coffee and fake plants in the dining room of the cafeteria of the military vessel freaked Mo out.
Oh my God, yeah, Mo just absolutely went off on the plastic plants.
Not a 7-foot tall jungle creature crocodile any caffeine ever again.
Yeah.
Caffeine and fake plants, that was just an affront.
We had Wow.
The Marines on board were beginning to wonder if they were going to have to try to put me down. Then after some of the things we'd gone through, they were beginning to wonder if they could put me down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything else that you can think of?
What we met, what's his name? The guy that's in charge of the
war, basically.
War, basically.
Yeah.
So the Delphi Council. I can't remember his name.
It starts with a Q.
Quinn?
Sebastian. Well, it's Quinn Sebastian, but that works too. That works too.
And he was like, yeah, I could really use y'all's help. So y'all want to call store mates. And he sort of let it slip that this wasn't his first time through this event.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth.
And it's like this isn't my first rodeo with this. Yeah, I know a little bit about what's happening, and quite honestly, Mo just assumed that he meant that he had been present at some other reality that was taken over by a few of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that that's what the game is inferring. But like the big crystal tower in New York, and us, the living lands having attacked other people. I'm like, yeah, this isn't the first invasion he's been through, and he came to help.
Yeah.
Which was good enough for Mo. He didn't really need to know more.
And he found that he told us that he had suddenly lost contact with one of his operatives.
Yeah.
In France, and took me, please go find that person and get them and reestablish communication or get them out.
Yep. And it just Post-it note that said that we needed to go find Agent Memo.
That's true. That is absolutely the truth. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all being here. We'll hang on and I'll get us over to the final non-recorded adventure shortly. You guys did a fantastic job. I appreciate it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and mute. And go ahead.
I was just going to say, I really hope people listening find us entertaining.
You guys are definitely entertaining. Oh, my goodness.
I certainly was entertaining to play.
If you hadn't stopped the recording yet.
I have not. Go ahead.
Mo, this entire time, had the martyr card.
Oh, yeah.
And I was on the verge of flipping it so that I could throw all of my friends out of the building to escape and slam the door or slam the door and then turn and delay the enemy long enough for the bomb to go off. It was a near thing, but then we had a way out and it wasn't necessary. But I was like, I see that this is going to be this is going to be the adventure where the martyr card gets played.
Oh no, God, it didn't happen that way.
Uh-huh.
Come down to that.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't have to come down to that either. I'm kind of getting fond of your characters. So, all right.
If it had, it would have been a great death. I would have been very pleased with the way that one turned out.
No doubt.
Sign your name with glory forever
after. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut it and read my final and get set up for the next one. So we've got another bio if you want it. All right. As recaps go, this one has been relatively short. Janus Agenda provided some nice beginnings for a few things in our Torg Cosmverse, but those are setups for at least one other adventure far down the road. Year 2 of the Possibility War is where I've set that adventure, as there was no specific timeline set, but I do eventually want to finish off that adventure By the time we arrived there, however, it might be so far from the minds of myself and my friends, but I think certain remembrances can be brought to light again to give the second adventure life. For GM's intent to run this adventure, you might think about how dynamics would change if there were the psychics and a squad of mercs to play against your characters, as opposed to a platoon or full company. This adventure could have gone very badly for the characters my friends are now invested in, though they turned out to be too smart for the Janus forces. Until next time, the Possibility War.